And
Yeah.
I am not a meditator, folks. Like, I can't do it. Like, I have like a monkey brain, and it's really, really hard for me to just stop
Me
the
too.
chatter in my brain. But when I was on this chair, immersed in this experience, in this vibroacoustic experience, I felt myself being held in a space where I could just let thoughts go. Now,
Mm.
I really feel like this could be good for people who don't know how to meditate.
And I get that. For those folks, for folks like you and I, the sound and the vibration guides you into a deeper meditative state. It's practically involuntary. You can interrupt it, you can override it, but generally speaking, you drift into that relaxed state, and you do
Mm-hmm.
so very quickly. As soon as the music starts playing, as soon as the brain starts to recognize that it's
Yeah.
feeling the same frequencies as it's hearing, it begins to almost give up. It just kind of relaxes
I
and
felt a
releases.
shudder, Craig. Like it was like this. I was like, I'm breathing. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay.
It's that sigh.
Welcome to Psychedelic Spotlight. I am so excited about this particular podcast because I am sitting across from Craig Goldberg from inHarmony Interactive. I just got one of your cushions and I tried it. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. No spoilers allowed because I want you to talk about this technology. You are in the space of vibroacoustics. So for grandma or whoever's in the room, like, what is that?
Totally. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be sitting across from you yet again, Sasha. This is now the second time that we've
Yes.
recorded this podcast due to the technical difficulties of the universe.
Yep.
And this is I think very special because you do have our cushion and you have been able to experience the first conversation we've had post delivery
Yes.
of our tech. Look, the reality of what we do, because a lot of folks want to overcomplicate it. We can dive deep into the weeds and the rabbit holes. That's what this is all about. The baseline for it all is sound and vibration is everything. And I know that people kind of say that and like, what does that mean? And the reality is every single thing around us is vibrating. Even the table that sits before you, the headphones that you're listening to, the speaker, of course, is
Mm-hmm.
vibrating, but even what we think is solid matter is actually vibrating. And
Right.
it's easiest for me to think about this as we look back to seventh grade chemistry class, protons, neutrons, and electrons, right?
Yep.
Even at the periodic table that you see sitting behind me, we
Yeah.
know that things are vibrating, that everything around us is moving. And what we're learning more and more about today, and the science is constantly evolving, is that the human body picks up on these vibrations, maybe not necessarily of the desk and that sort of thing, but of other vibrations, of other sounds, of other frequencies. And we come into harmony with those other vibrations, pun intended.
Haha.
It's something called harmonic resonance. We
Yes.
come into harmonic resonance with these other vibrations that we're exposed to. And those vibrations could be thoughts, could be energy, it
Mm-hmm.
could be physical vibrations of sound in this case, a vibratory experience like on a sound lounge or on inHarmony technology.
Yes.
And as our bodies are constantly being bombarded with these different frequencies, and I do mean bombarded, it can
Yeah.
be anything from the 60 hertz frequency and vibration of the electricity that's flowing through your walls. It could be the hum of the condenser on the back of your refrigerator that needs to be serviced or updated as you sit and work in your kitchen. It could be music that you're listening to, or whether that's on headphones or whether that's at a nightclub or a concert. Our bodies are constantly coming into harmonic resonance with the frequencies that we're presented to. And our
Mm-hmm.
entire business is really all about presenting the body with relaxing frequencies, with soothing tones, that bring the body into a relaxed state instead of bringing the body into a tense and stressed or
Yeah.
anxious state.
Yeah.
And this is really the root of what we do. And really, the easiest way that I can explain it is to present the body with the most soothing and relaxing tones and frequencies as possible. And you got to think of our technology as a delivery system for sound and frequency directly to the body, whether you're sitting on our meditation cushion, laying on our sound lounge, laying on our practitioner, or listening to our app through headphones or a Bluetooth speaker. You are simply presenting your body with relaxing frequencies designed to shift you from sympathetic, stressed and anxious, into
Yes.
parasympathetic, calm and relaxed.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how the technology actually works with the cushion. So I tried the cushion. I did the Bluetooth pairing. I put my headphones on. But I'm telling you, this cushion is so strong. Like the vibrations were going through the house. Like
Yeah.
seriously. So I could feel it all through my body. Why is that happening? Just for people in the audience that are curious, like how is this actually working?
Yeah. So we use a specific piece of technology called a tactile transducer. For those, I don't know if there's going to be video or if we're going to see this,
We
but
are.
I'm holding a tactile transducer in my hand. They are made specifically and custom for us. We've been making this transducer for 6+ years. Ultimately, what you're seeing is what is a speaker input. So we're basically using this tactile transducer, which is a magnet,
Mm-hmm.
to transfer that frequency energy. Frequency is just a number of oscillations per second. A
Right.
20 hertz frequency is 20 oscillations per second. And we couple that, in this case, with the cushion, with a pair of headphones that you're wearing, which are hardwired to the back amplifier. Or you could use, there's 2 built-in speakers in our meditation cushion as well, which work as effectively if you're in a room where you're not going to disturb anyone.
Yeah.
And the science and the magic is twofold. It's first in the actual vibratory experience. We're actually shaking at a specific frequency every single cell in your body. The magic starts to happen when you couple that with the ears listening to the same frequencies at the same time. And
Yeah.
this creates a 3-dimensional, fully immersive auditory and physical experience. As, to get technical, the mechanoreceptors in your skin are sending the same signals to the brain as your auditory nerve in the cochlea as they're hearing the music. And the brain kind of makes this assumption that you are inside the music, and it drifts into a relaxed state while it's listening to and feeling the same frequencies and those same electrical inputs at the same time. It's
Okay.
really wild. It's a really wild experience. Our tech is designed to be the most powerful on the market. You're sitting on our meditation cushion. There's 2 tactile transducers right underneath your root. It's literally sending those vibrations straight up your spine. And
Yeah.
as you've experienced, it's enough to make your earlobes bounce up and down, your teeth
Absolutely.
chatter,
Yes.
and
It's very
that
cool.
intensity brings with it additional benefits, physical benefits that you wouldn't otherwise find in, say, just listening to headphones or just listening to music through a small speaker. All of a sudden now you're increasing lymphatic drainage which helps with the detox pathways in the body. You're literally sending a message to every muscle in your body, telling it to relax. The vibration kind of ushers you into a relaxed state. And then, of course, you have the same auditory signal as you do physical signal, and that creates this relaxation effect. On top of everything else, it feels amazing.
It
So,
does feel amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, I have to say I did
it's
one of your
yeah,
courses, like, or one of the sound not courses but sound
music
programs through the app,
meditations. Yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so I think I was doing like the root to sacral chakra sort of like
yeah,
recalibration. And
yeah.
I am not a meditator, folks. Like I can't do it. Like I have like a monkey brain and it's really, really hard for me to just stop the chatter in my brain. But when I was on this chair, immersed in this experience, in this vibroacoustic experience, I felt myself being held in a space where I could just let thoughts go. Now,
Mm,
I really feel like this could be good for people who don't know how to meditate, maybe.
yeah, absolutely. So the
Okay.
meditation cushion in particular, and first of all, we've been developing this and prototyping this for about 4 years at this point.
Right.
We rolled it out through an Indiegogo campaign in June of 2020. And the magic that unfolded when Dom, my business partner, and I, the patent holders in this cushion, when we sat down and had the transducers at the root, it's different from laying down on our practitioner or our sound lounge.
Interesting.
And the immersiveness, the feeling that you have. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like you. If 6 years ago, if you told me to hang out on the couch and just meditate, I'd kind of laugh at you and be like, you got to be kidding me, because I just start thinking about all the things I'm not doing, all the
Exactly.
things I should be doing, all the things I could be doing, and I'm not getting the meditative benefit of dropping into that meditative brainwave state.
Mm-hmm.
So our technology, specifically with the cushion, but it certainly works for the sound lounge and the practitioner as well. We serve two main markets in the meditation world. And that is, the first is folks like you and me, Sacha, that have trouble or challenges meditating, to turn off the monkey mind, to turn off the to-do list.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because you're focused on what you need to get done. You're an A-type personality, you're a go-getter just like me. I see you, I know that. We've had
Mm-hmm.
lots of conversations over the last year or two.
Yeah.
And I get that. For those folks, for folks like you and I, the sound and the vibration guides you into a deeper meditative state. It's practically involuntary. You can interrupt it, you can override it, but generally speaking, you drift into that relaxed state, and you do
Mm-hmm.
so very quickly. As soon as the music starts playing, as soon as the brain starts to recognize that it's
Yeah.
feeling the same frequencies as it's hearing, it begins to almost give up. It just kind of relaxes
I
and
felt a
releases.
shudder, Craig. Like it was like this. I was like, I'm breathing. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay,
It's that sigh.
that
You'll
sigh.
if you hop on my Instagram, you'll actually see I have a 3-year-old daughter who's on the tech on a regular basis,
Okay.
and she grabs me every morning and she's like, "Dad, I want to meditate." And I set her up, and she knows how to work the app and she knows how to get everything, but I get it turned on for her, and I caught this sigh of a 3-year-old. Like, she has all of her food provided for her. She's got all the toys. She plays all day with
Mm-hmm.
at my house or grandma's house,
Yeah.
and she let out. You'll hear it on Instagram. It's unreal. That overwhelming just, and you just feel the stress and the relaxation. The stress melts away. The relaxation
Yeah.
comes over you. We serve a second market with the cushion that I think is also really important, and that's those folks that have a 20-year, 20-minute a day meditation practice that then get on our tech and begin to realize how deep they can really go.
Right.
Because if you already have that meditative practice, if you've already designed and developed those neural pathways,
Mm-hmm.
then the mind, body, and spirit goes straight there. And meditation is a very tricky thing to teach somebody,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I was sitting here guiding you through a meditation, I don't know what's happening between your ears. I don't
No.
know if you're actually getting there. You don't know if you're actually getting there. You might feel relaxed. You might be able to walk through a guided meditation of relaxing your eyebrows and relaxing your cheeks, and very effective,
Mm-hmm.
but also very difficult to judge if somebody else is actually getting there. Sound and vibration take you there. It's, like I said, it's practically involuntary.
Takes you
So
there.
if you have a regular practice, this shows you, and I get text messages and testimonials from folks that are like, "Craig, I've been meditating every day for 20 years. This thing really takes me there, and takes me there quickly, so I can be more efficient, more effective. And I know I'm getting as deep as possible with your tech." That translates to then meditating without our tech as well. Those neural pathways get
You're
identified, you know
training
the
the
destination, you're able to
brain.
drop in there even faster.
Right. That's fascinating. Okay, real quickly, I want to switch gears a little bit just for the audience. Psychedelics, right?
Yeah,
Are we seeing some synergies here with your tech in the psychedelics market?
absolutely. And it's one of the reasons why we've had so much success with our giveaway, and really why we've had so much success in this particular space. I'm a psychonaut. I have been for 20 plus years. Gosh, even longer. I'm 43. I think I had my first psilocybin experience when I was 16,
Right.
15, something like that. This is something that pairs really well with psychedelic therapy. It pairs really well for a couple different reasons: before, during, and after a
Okay.
therapy session. Okay. So before, even the most experienced, and I certainly fall into that category, I still have some anxiety building into a a psychedelic experience. My ego
Right.
knows it's about to melt. It's not sure if it's going to come back. I've been there. I know I'm coming back, and I've always come back, but still there's some trepidation there and some concern. That's natural. So doing a session beforehand helps to relax the nervous system, put you in a parasympathetic, calm and relaxed
Yeah.
state. And it helps before. During, it feels amazing as well. And we've got folks that do one-on-one psychedelic therapy on our Sound Lounge practitioner, or the meditation cushion works fantastic with ketamine. It pairs almost naturally with that particular medicine. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, after, for integration, it works well as well to usher you back into this world, to give you that
To
soft
echo the
landing
meanings. Yeah. Okay.
and
That's
to
really
integrate, and even talk back with your therapist or talk with the people that are with you to kind of ease back into this reality, to keep you in that parasympathetic, so that, again, it's really that soft landing
right.
that I talked about.
So, some of your sound lounges are actually inside ketamine clinics right
Oh
now,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And what's the
Absolutely.
feedback so far from clients that are going through, or from the practitioners that are actually working with the sound lounges in concert with ketamine therapy?
Increased efficacy, right?
Right.
So we're using PQQ and various question and verbal studies that are being done after,
Mhm.
questionnaires that are being utilized afterwards. Particularly in our ketamine clinics, what we're seeing is the medicine by itself, and of course set and setting is so important. I really
Yeah.
think, and I don't want this to be a dig on the ketamine industry and the off-label application of it, because it's magic and it has high levels of efficacy. And the medicine by itself, even in a sterile environment with fluorescent lights and beeping heart rate monitors and all of the things that you would find in a hospital setting, which
Yeah.
many of these ketamine clinics are run by anesthesiologists that have
Yeah.
pivoted or churned. Most of them, I would say 99% are getting set and setting wrong. And we know in psychedelic therapy, back in the 1960s, we know how important set and setting is. Music, environment, experience, lighting, sound, all of it is so important in the efficacy. What we're finding is that the medicine by itself, high levels of efficacy, right, works really, really well, particularly with treatment resistant PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Suicidal thoughts as well, particularly with this with
Absolutely.
ketamine therapy,
Yeah.
right? And I know your audience gets that. What they're seeing typically by itself with the right set and setting is about a 70% efficacy. When you layer in our meditation cushions just in post, just
Yeah.
as integration, they're seeing a 15 to 20% increase in its efficacy. So 85 to 90% of the people that are taking their
Wow.
outbound questionnaire and
Wow.
survey are
Yeah.
talking about a complete reduction, almost erasure of the symptoms associated with treatment resistant PTSD, treatment resistant anxiety, treatment resistant depression, and
And would you
suicidal thoughts.
attribute that to the actual nervous system being in the proper state to receive
So here's the
this type of
magic,
therapy? Okay.
and I know your listeners, I know your audience is going to get this. Look, and I'm a psychonaut, right? Self-proclaimed, and others have labeled me that as well. I love exploring consciousness. I love the use of these medicines in the right setting and in the right atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the medicine is just it's an entheogenic. It's an external factor. The reality is it's all inside, all of it.
Yeah.
And many of us, when I say us, I mean sound lounge owners and people using inHarmony technology, are familiar with having psychedelic like experiences without the entheogens on our tech. So there is a correspondence between vibroacoustic therapy, reaching higher states of consciousness or
Yes.
altered states of consciousness without entheogens, that works just as well with. So if you're going through this therapy and you're experiencing these altered states of consciousness using psychedelics, now all of a sudden you can go back to the sound lounge, play the same track, the muscle memory is there, the neural pathways
Boom.
are already there, and
Yeah.
oftentimes you can get right back to that altered state just using sound and vibration without using any external stimuli. And we have pilot studies that have already been
Which is
done. We have one
fascinating.
of our clients is about to launch I'll give them a shout out because they're amazing. Entheo Digital is basically a digital therapeutics company that uses our technology along with a piece of software they've identified and developed called Sound Self. And you're basically ohming into a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
That ohm is being played back to you through headphones and our practitioner mattress that lays underneath you.
Wow.
And you are, in essence, harmonizing to your own ohm in a very magical way. And
Okay.
they are, through 3 pilot studies, they have found high levels of efficacy. They're about to launch 3 clinical studies using our technology and theirs paired together in what is proving to be a digital therapeutic. I mean, this is groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
And absolutely remarkable. We were at Meetdelic last year, the consumer side of this industry. We were at Wonderland just passed in December in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the regulatory side of things and showcasing their technology along with ours. This is, it lights me up. I'm almost
Yeah.
short of words, which doesn't
Yeah.
often happen. I get so excited when, look, the reason I do this is for impact. Yeah, there's
Mm-hmm.
a business associated with it. It takes care of my family and no doubt, but at its crux, it's the impact that our technology has on mental health and on the individuals that use our tech that lights me up. And this is a very special place for me. Psychedelic therapy and its application. We already know the deregulation and decriminalization is happening in
Yep.
several states and countries. I really think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see these rescheduled through the DEA. We're going to see more and more research starts to pop up on these different psychedelic therapies in specific controlled environments where set and setting is taken into account. And I know that our technology has a place before, during, and after to help with coaching, the process, and then integration afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's really profound what's happening right now. Absolutely profound.
And when you think about it, and our audience is, they're really into, the holistic idea of health, because health is wealth. And so folks in our audience, they're exploring all different kinds of alternative healing modalities. And so when you look at vibroacoustics, this is another layer in the healing modality that would make up your regime, right? Whatever it is, nutrition is important. Psychedelics is a part, but it's not everything, right? So we have to take into consideration the whole spectrum of what we can do to optimize ourselves.
I look at it as a boost, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's even when we talk about meditation, and we do quite a bit of digital advertising and digital marketing, and I'm the one that replies back to all the messages on social media personally.
Okay.
We do have teams that help us post, but I'm the one that replies back to the comments. I'm the one that replies back to the messages that come into those inboxes. And a lot of times we'll get somebody that says, you don't need this meditation cushion to meditate. Just go outside and sit underneath a tree, or just sit on your floor with a
Not
blanket.
me.
And
I need it.
well, so here's what I'll tell you. They're right. Okay. And this might be,
For them,
against the
that's their
grain.
truth. Okay.
For them, it's their truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for others, I say this, and I don't say this lightly. Technology got us into this. Technology can get us out.
Yeah.
So for those of us that are so focused on the notifications, the bells, the chimes, the bings, the dings, our nervous systems are so dysregulated in some cases that we need technology to help regulate. That could be cold therapy, it can be hot therapy, sauna, it can be PEMF, pulse electromagnetic field therapy.
I do that.
It can be, which is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It could be LED therapy, red light, infrared, right? I mean, there's so many different modalities that are designed to help bring us back into a regulated nervous system response.
Mm-hmm.
So a few things happen when you're in a sympathetic nervous system response that are really worth understanding. The first is that and it's involuntary. Your brain identifies a threat to your life and livelihood, whatever that might be. It could be a physical threat, like somebody following you on a dark New York City street, and all of a sudden that spidey sense goes off.
Yeah.
That is adrenaline and cortisol flowing through your blood. It could be an email that you read from your boss that tells you, hey, we're cutting salaries by 50% to augment profitability, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a life-threatening scenario. Mm-hmm. It could be your friend telling you they can't go on a trip that you've been planning for a year, and you're so looking forward to it and you're so excited about it. And then all of a sudden you have this major letdown. that can trigger you into a sympathetic nervous system
So
response, part of the
quickly
reptilian
too.
brain.
Yeah.
It happens in an instant,
Yeah.
and it's designed to save your life. That adrenaline that flows through your blood that gets released starts to send muscle power and strength, blood flow to the major muscle groups in the body.
Yeah.
Cortisol makes you hyper aware and alert and focused. And it does some detrimental things for your everyday life. It
Long
turns off
term.
it long term, it's no good, right? So
Yeah.
it's fine if you're triggered and you bounce back. And
You got to get
it
away from the
happens
bear or the
totally
that thing that's chasing you. It makes sense. You need
100%.
it.
You need it, and you're never not going to trigger that,
Yeah.
right? But what we can do is we can teach it to trigger less often. We can teach your nervous system to stay in that cool, calm, collected mindset. Look,
Mhm.
when you have cortisol and adrenaline flowing through your blood, your body turns off your immune system, turns off digestion, turns off rational thinking,
That's
turns
exactly what
off your
happened to me.
reproductive organs. We
Yeah.
have so many people that are trying to get pregnant, bless their beautiful hearts. If you're walking around in a sympathetic nervous system response, and even the
Adrenal
process,
fatigue,
it
etc.
starts
Yeah.
to kick in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So we
Yeah.
have this major underlying issue. Look, the 6 of the top 10 killers here in the United States are stress related.
Mm-hmm.
Less stress, less of a sympathetic nervous system response, and you're going to have less of those symptoms, and your body's going to operate the way that it was designed miraculously
Sign me
to
up.
operate.
I
So
want less stress.
this is where we live, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you've got traumatic experiences, you might need that crutch. You might need that psychedelic experience in a controlled environment with set and setting and coaching and integration.
Yeah.
That's going to help you not change the past, but it's going to help you look back on that experience with a different lens. It
Yes.
might take a negative experience and make it neutral. It might take a neutral experience and make it positive. It might take a negative and make it positive.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, you're going to start to swing the pendulum back to neutral, back towards positive, and you're going to be able to live your life. I I have countless people that send me emails after they've got my tech that tell me they found themselves again, that say,
Wow.
thank you for bringing me back to Joanne, Eric, Roger, right? The
Yeah.
person that I used to be. We all know when we're not acting ourselves. And if you're walking around in a triggered sympathetic nervous system response, you are ill-equipped to handle these societal, cultural things that we've co-created together that
Preach. Yep.
just goes and goes and goes. Look, right now, I got my buddy out front. He's stranded. His RV's not working, right? I got my daughter to get up and out of the house, right? Like we all have life happening all around us. And we all know that when we're cool, calm, and collected, we're making better decisions. We're being more practical. We're being more rational. And we're operating in a more optimized way. And our
Yeah.
technology, especially paired with psychedelic therapy, helps us to get back to swing the pendulum from that negative outlook on life
Yeah.
back to neutral, and then hopefully from neutral back to positive. But it's a pendulum and it swings. So hopefully we're spending less time in a negative mindset and more time neutral or positive. And it just lights me up when I get to share more about what's actually happening, because more people need to know
They
when
do.
you're in a sympathetic nervous system
Yeah.
response and what you can do to get back to baseline.
Vagus nerve is a constant around my house. We're always talking about the vagus nerve and the damage, and it really does make you sick, folks. Adrenal fatigue, autoimmune diseases, all these things that happen when our nervous system is on the fritz, basically. And I've learned that firsthand. So I
Yeah.
literally do everything I can now to bring it back down and get back into that parasympathetic state. And I don't always stay there. I do achieve it a couple times a day, but it takes training. And so I do believe this tech can really help me get there faster and more consistently. And so I'm really excited to tell everybody in the audience that there is an opportunity for you to actually win one of these amazing cushion chairs that I just can't say enough about. And I will write my own review on it too, because it's just so fantastic. But we are actually going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to launch it on the 13th, and you got 2 weeks. Craig, what do you got to do to win this chair?
All right. So I think we're talking about following, obviously, Psychedelic Spotlight, following inHarmony interactive. I think we're talking about tagging 3 people.
You
Is
got to
that
tag
right?
your friends. Yes.
Yep. Tag your friends. The more tags, the more entries.
Exactly.
And engage in our content on both sides. talk about what we're doing. Let us know your experience, both with psychedelics and obviously with vibroacoustic therapy. If you have friends and family, if you want to hop on my site and you want to go to our inHarmony locator, you want to go get a session in your local community and then talk about that. Again, the more you can engage with us, the more you can share the value that this technology has brought, the more awareness you can bring, the higher you're going to rank in that potential giveaway. And we're giving away an inHarmony meditation cushion along with lifetime access to our app, something we actually don't offer anymore. So this is something that's
Oh,
going to be
wow.
really big
Okay.
and really huge. We have a director of
I
content
subscribe to
creation.
the app. I pay a fee, guys. This is a good deal.
I appreciate that. Look, it's not something that is stagnant. We
Yeah.
have a full-time music maker. His name is Anthony Weiss. He's incredibly talented.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly releasing new apps. This year in 2023, we're averaging one new track at least per week. And there's some weeks where we're dropping 2 or 3 new tracks in. Right now, we're working on our journey of life. We're focusing tracks on these different emotional experiences that we have day to day. We released Abundance, which is designed to attract abundance. We released Grief, which is designed to create a space for you to grieve. We released Anxiety, which is designed to mitigate and release anxiety. We've
Yeah.
got one that's coming next, which I've already heard some of it, called Inspiration. And it is one of the most uplifting, incredible tracks I've ever listened to.
Oh, I
It's a
can't wait.
full body vibratory experience. And with that lifetime access, the new tracks just appear inside our app. You'll be invited to a Telegram channel for all of our users as well, where we talk about the technology, its impact. You can ask questions, and we of course monitor that on a regular basis. New tracks get released on a regular basis as well. So
So
there's a
cool.
lot that's going into
Yeah.
this movement that we're creating to serve our ecosystem.
That is so amazing. So, guys, keep your eyes peeled on the socials, especially our IG. There will be a reel released starring Craig on the 13th of this month, and you guys have 2 weeks to get it. Thank you so much for your inspiration, your passion, the advocacy, and what you're doing in the space of health and wellness, Craig. It was such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Sasha. An absolute pleasure. And anything that I can do to help this community, I'm here to help and support.